All right, guys, I know it's been a while since we've had a podcast out there, but we've kind of got our act together, and we did a little poll on Instagram, kind of asked guys what they'd like to see us go over, and we had an awesome amount of feedback. And the most redundant post, their most redundant reply was night hunting, night ops, how we do it, what we use, and we're going to go into detail on that on this episode, but I kind of want you to know that, to kind of fill you guys in, we're going to get a little bit more elaborate on a night hunting podcast. We're going to have Tyler Adair of Ultimate Night Vision on for a different one and go into a little bit more of the detailed specs, I would say, of thermal and night vision equipment, not really how we use it. This podcast is going to be how we use it, the transitional phase, kind of how we apply that phase to our hunting style and our methods, and we'll go from there. But this is, once again, guys, this is a podcast where we break it down for you. We go into detail on everything. A lot of guys, recognize us from YouTube regarding the predator hunting side of things, I would say. They see a lot of our coyote hunting videos. We do quite a few reviews. We're going to be getting into that a lot more. But, we really enjoy breaking things down and filling you guys in on how we use it. Everything from suppressors, barrels, actions, stocks, optics, equipment such as packs, optics like binoculars, spotters, camera equipment, etc. That's what we enjoy doing, and we don't want to strictly designate this podcast to predator hunting. We want to cover a lot of different bases, but one of our go-tos is coyote hunting. That's what we enjoy doing, and that's what a lot of guys visualize us as and affiliate us as predator hunters. So that's what the podcast is about for you guys that are new, that haven't heard from us, or haven't heard of us. And it's just kind of what we do. This is part of our lifestyle. This isn't something that we do traveling around for a show by any means. And a lot of guys don't know that. This is something that we do every day as part of our livelihood. And that's how we want to represent ourselves and kind of explain to you guys our specific situation. So as things progress here, guys, we got Keith Rissy with us once again as co-host. My name's James O'Neill. I'll be your host here, and an all new episode of the O'Neill Ops podcast starts now.
I am the refugee, of the kind of tragedy. I am the future, everything you need to be. I am the chosen, I am not your enemy. I am the one, I'm the American son. I shed my skin, my old self wasted away, while I'm sitting in a corner contemplating better days. I free my mind in a million different ways.
Fire. It's enough DJ or whatever you call it action. But you know what, dude? I did have a guy that asked me, he goes, what do you guys listen to all the time? What station is it that you guys listen to? He's like, every song that you guys have on is money. And I want to know every song that you guys, I'm like, dude, Octane is where it's at.
Octane, Sirius Satellite Radio.
That's American Sun from Fire from the Gods. But, all right, guys. This is something that we take a lot of interest in, pride in particular. Good word. Night hunting. We've done one of our podcasts. I can't remember which one it was, but we went over discussing going into detail on getting legislation passed so that we could actually use and be more effective at our work. And the main purpose of that legislation was being able to increase the calibers that you could legally use, from a rimfire and a shotgun to a centerfire 224. And for us, that is a huge asset. Being able to up your game from a 22 LR or a 22 WSM or WMR to a 223, 2250 is huge. Any of you guys that hunt predators a lot know that that it's a massive game changer to be able to have that extra velocity, that extra hydrostatic shock, and killing power. And not only that, it's better for the animal. I mean, more detrimental for the animal, but better for them regarding the precision, ethical side of things.
And what was that, second year we were hunting thermal wise? We went to Pier and did that?
Yeah.
Our third?
Because I think it was the second, dude, because the first year we got what we could legally with our,
our center fires, our rim fires,
we got some AR builds, right? Built some ARs. I built a 17 WSM and a 22 WMR, I believe, unless I've got those mixed up. But, we were trying to capitalize as much as we possibly could, trying to squeeze out as much energy and juice as we could from a rimfire cartridge for the killing power.
Right.
And there's like you said, the last time we were talking, there's video that no one will ever see because, it's a precision shot placement in the throat, in the chest, in the heart, and they run, 200, 300, 400 yards before it actually works on them.
Yeah. We found ourselves on foot more than ever, I think, as far as spot and stock or calling at night, getting everything within 75 yards for say, just to get that precision shot.
Yeah.
Which dead in your tracks type stuff for film work. And like you said, a lot of stuff isn't going to see the light of day just because of the fact you hit one in the heart or you hit a good vital and he runs 50, 60 yards and
or more.
That's just something
that we don't like to, don't get me wrong. There are some,
it's easy for us to say, well, he was dead on his feet, but
it's easier for the naysayer to say, no, he wasn't.
Explain that to that guy or get that guy convinced of that,
Exactly. But we do have, I'll be uploading a triple here that actually I got. And then there's a triple that you and John got during the day that, these are some mature, nasty alphas that we shot and they took that round. That just goes to show you how strong these animals are, even with.
Yeah. I think 2 of the 3 of your triple,
they moved.
Yeah.
The last one, it was a heart shot. Right. It was even right in the shoulder, spun maybe 2 times, done. But the triple that you guys shot, every single one of them took it.
Yeah. But when they're 40 plus pounds,
and they were, it's hard to get around that unless you up your caliber, which we don't like to do because we like to keep the fur.
We kind of got it on that line right there where we're saving as much fur as possible, and then you just got to be a little more precision shot wise to shoulder harness or a headshot or what have you to drop them in their tracks,
And a lot of times like your triple, it was a couple 100 yards. You feel, you could do a headshot, but it's so much easier and quicker to do a center mass.
Right.
And then let them take it and they're dead on their feet.
Right.
But we'll be doing a podcast on that too, without getting into too much detail, guys, on kind of bullet selection, caliber selection. I bet I almost get more questions on that than I do almost anything else. Every single video that gets put up, I have at least a few questions. What caliber? And anybody that knows this, man, our go-to selection, and we'll be going over that in a different podcast. But let's talk about kind of the like what we said out here. Let's talk about the night hunting side of things, the night ops. Somebody put it on one of our Instagram replies. I kind of look at it and I think I might have explained it that way. Remember when we went to, was it Rapid last year and did that little seminar, that little talk?
Yep.
Kind of use it as I kind of use the term phase. We kind of go in phases where before we actually get into the night hunting side of things, we try to get as much daytime footage as we possibly can. And it's my fault more than anyone's. Usually every year I'm like, dude, let's start hunting in October.
Right.
Let's get some of them stupid pups so we can get some awesome footage, some really close footage. We never do it.
And what that would do, fill your day footage stuff, the more day footage, the better as far as for your YouTube channel or anything like that. And then maybe start the night stuff sooner, but it never works that way, It's, even though this year was such a good year as far as the day footage stuff, what we try and do is get all the day footage you can with less maybe call shy coyotes, less pressured areas, get that day footage done then, and then towards the later season, phase 3, maybe even 4, you get in with that night stuff and you clean those coyotes up for say that are
A little more educated.
called maybe a couple times that year, and not necessarily by us as per se, but there's so many other people that are doing it on the weekend or what have you.
And that's where we move into, you know, like calving season. Usually,
Right.
a lot of ranchers want us to
when
come
you
in.
start getting the phone calls. You know, I'm calving. I need your help.
Yep. And that's how it is. That's exactly how it is. But we, you know, I really try to strive on getting as much day footage as I possibly can, because to me, that is, and we talked about this earlier, that is like it's a lot more. It's tougher. It's tougher to get.
It is.
Okay. It's
Oh yeah, it is. It's night and day.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you got at least 2 guys, sometimes 3 in our case, 2 gunners and a cameraman. It's during the day, and it's just it's a different ball game.
You got to hide all of that. Big camera
out in the wide open spaces.
2 gunners, which the gunners are always prone out. You know, I mean, but
with ghillie hoods on, and you're pretty blended in.
Right. You set that camera up though, and that camera guy, to get some good footage, you got to move around quite a bit.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. You got to be mobile, man.
Right.
So there's been times this year where we've had to pick up the tripod and move the whole system.
Sure.
But the way I look at it is, I mean, the night hunting clips are so diluted, if you will. I mean, and what I mean by that is, I think I've got one thermal video up on the YouTube channel, and it's for people that haven't ever seen the channel before. That's the first video that pops up, and it's called Nightmare. And if you watch that intro, there's probably 20 kills on it, 20 really quick cut kills.
Yeah.
And to me, that is so diluted compared to what we get during daytime. I mean, you get a daytime quality video of like the one on Pheasants Forever Hill. Say even this year, we coaxed him in, we worked him, we had him come right up the draw, we always do, and he came in about 50 yards from the call, some good 4K footage. To me, that quality and that content outweighs even 20 thermal kills.
And here's where I think that's coming from, as far as, because you edit everything, you're all about that cinematography. You want to get the best you can for the most for your buck, you know.
Yep.
So I think that's where you're seeing that, and your higher levels as far as what you want. You know, when we go onto a set, or when we are gonna make a set, I think in your mind you're already running through your head as far as the editing part. Well, I can get this and this, you know, and I think that's where that's coming from, as far as the diluted part of the deal, as far as the thermals. It's the same thing over and over again, as far as thermals per se on your kills. You can only do so much maybe with just thermals, where the day stuff you can it's endless almost.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it, because night hunting, I mean, it's black and white.
It is.
It's black and white. That's what it is. You could be in the same terrain as what you are during the day, but you said the cinematography is not there.
Yeah.
You're looking at a screen.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Grant, we've called some spots, and what we over at Deadman's, what we get 8 coyotes coming in, 7 coyotes coming in all at once.
Oh yeah.
You can still only do so much with that part. You know, you can, as far as the thermal footage, you can only do so much with that. And I think that's the way you look at a lot of this stuff.
Well, if you do it right, you'd get a 46 million hit video, right?
Yeah.
But no, that's the way that I look at it. So usually what we do is we run through the daytime scenario. We work it with the daytime setup, and then that's phase 1. Okay. We go to all of our spots that we have written down, all
early
of the spots,
season, you know, even clearing to breeding.
Which I call breeding is phase 2, I would say.
Sure.
Well,
but as far as the day stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So what we do is, like, we'll go through all of our spots, and if we clean house on a spot, now guys, this is daytime footage. This isn't even night hunting yet.
Right.
So just kind of ramping you up into how we do it. We'll go through our first phase where we hit all of our prime spots up during the day. And by the time we hit our last daytime spot up, most of the time, not bragging, not beating our chest, we have done pretty well.
Sure.
On all of those other spots, you know, on all of the phase 1 spots, where that one spot in particular this year, we killed John. You killed the first double, John killed another double, and we went back into the same spot within a 400-yard radius, and I killed the triple.
Yep. And what you guys need to understand, as far as the O'Neill Ops team, all of our coyote hunting, for say, is 30 miles.
This year, I don't even think we've made it that far yet.
So home base, maybe a 30-mile radius, or max. 15's probably would cover 90% of our sets from home base, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, 15 would be,
So,
yeah.
you'll get a lot of coyote hunters that do a lot of traveling. Well, you guys need to understand we don't do any of that. It's just the way it is. That's how we do it. I mean,
It's
our life. It's right here at home. It's what it is, I guess.
and that could be a whole nother podcast too, because
Sure.
I mean, but that's a good explanation. That's because I just was talking with a fella at Fox Pro, and he was telling me, he was like, I was telling him some of the footage and the numbers, like how many of you guys got? Well, it's not an insane number.
It ain't.
But like you said, if you take a target area, the numbers that we're pulling out of that spot is ridiculous.
And
if
like you always say, if I want 10 good day footage, kills
for the channel,
for your editing, for your videos.
and then we can go murder mode.
So it's not, as far as us, it's not about our numbers. I mean, yeah, it is for, say, like you said, you want 10 good, but, and then there you go. I said again, 15 mile, one area. We're not traveling.
And a lot of guys take that and they're like, it's that way with everybody, dude. Okay. Then you're going to get the guys that are like, well, that's because you guys are in South Dakota and you have so damn many coyotes and they're so stupid. And then give those guys about a year, and then they're calling you going, hey, what are you doing? I'm coming to South Dakota. What are you using? How you doing it?
Yeah.
Figure it out. But the same thing, I was watching that Cameron Haynes thing the other day on YouTube, and I don't like to watch a lot of other guys' stuff, but that guy's legit.
Oh, for real.
And he was talking, he gets up at 2:00 and he runs like the first, 10 miles or whatever. Then he goes and works out. Then he goes to his day job. And in between his workout and his day job, he was reading, some guys were bad mouthing him going, oh, I could do that too if it was all I had to do, for a living. No, you couldn't.
Yeah.
You still couldn't do that. I don't care. You okay, dude?
I couldn't. I wouldn't run like that.
Run 20 miles a day or 30. Have fun with that.
I wouldn't even try that.
Your knees would be. But I mean, that's just what happens with people. I mean, the internet is just a place where it's just ridiculous crazy how people, it's a dick measuring contest.
Yeah, it's like, well, you shot 200 coyotes last year, you guys are way better than them guys.
That doesn't matter.
No, it ain't. Not even a little bit.
No, because if you kill 50 coyotes in a 5-mile radius, I would think that you're better than the dude that covers a 500-mile radius and kills 500 or 600 because you're hunting a lot harder.
And you're probably hunting a same coyote over and over, for say, or two coyote,
they may be there and you don't even know it.
Right.
And eventually you do know it and meet up and kill. But anyway, it is what it is. If you're out there getting out there hunting, shooting, we're all a part of this together. It's just people like to nitpick it. And for some reason, when they see, some of the numbers that get put up, what we like to do is explain to guys, hey, I've had guys on TV, 2 guys on TV say, hey, it doesn't work, man. I've got a TV show. It just doesn't work for the viewership, for the ratings. If you don't travel around the United States and around the world and hunt, then do it. Yeah. I don't have no interest in that at all. It's awesome. It's when you can get the amount of quality kills that we do in the time and the distance that we get it. For us, it's a no-brainer, especially with our lifestyles and what we have to do for our day jobs.
There's no reason to throw money at
something you don't need to.
Exactly. It's just a waste as far as I'm concerned when you can get the same or better.
And it's more fun to me. Yeah. We went to, where did we go? We went to Wyoming that one year and hunted with Cal Taylor. And that was fun because we've never
done anything like that.
And I was there and it was in the mountains and sagebrush, really cool terrain. And I'm just sitting there at each set going, this is pretty cool, but you know what? I'd rather be at every spot that I know at home, hunting, filming. It's so much more fun for me, but everybody's different.
It is, yeah.
But so anyway, what we've got that phase, all right? And then if you're successful, like a lot of times we are in our first phase, you can go right back into those spots and be successful for phase 2. Now, if you're not, if something happens, you get winded or for some reason you miss, then we're kind of skeptical as to going back to that spot again.
And it's not that we don't go back there, but it might be later in phase 2.
During breeding, when they're starting to do something a little different.
Or even that.
Yeah.
That we might leave a little bit more time in between. Like you said, you might call 2 in and get 1, or call 2 in or 3 in and get 2. Well, I find ourselves waiting longer as far as, well, we're not going to go back to there because they heard or seen or whatever something. So we'll wait later in that phase 2, or even wait till phase 3 to go back in there and try those coyotes again.
And
something totally different,
Exactly. And that's part of a transitional phase is we will go in there with completely different sounds.
Right.
We'll cater to certain sounds, the first phase, the second phase, to the third phase.
Yeah.
But usually you hit third phase, it's usually about breeding season. And that's where everything pretty much changes up this year. I mean, once again, not bragging, we were real successful.
Sure.
I mean, we did awful good, the day footage that we got. And that is another big reason why we haven't even started the night hunting transition yet, because we're just the flow, man, the momentum. When the ball's rolling, don't stop it. I'm 100% about keep the momentum rolling. Don't stop it. Don't step off the mound, shake anything up. Just freaking keep your rhythm going and keep hammering. And until that change basically takes effect, then we don't really make that night hunting transition. That's this year.
Right. And it's not that we're not going out. I mean, we're still going out and doing our thing a little bit, dabbling in it, I guess, or scouting or
exactly
finding, you'll find yourselves hearing a lot more howls maybe at night, or location, be able to locate a coyote
and even count them.
Yeah. And know for your day footage. Well, let's go there. They were over there last night, let's hit that spot. So we find ourselves doing that quite a bit right now as far as the night stuff.
A lot more than not. Like last year we were going out in some really cold nights. This year we hit a couple really cold nights up too, but
I don't think we've had the cold like we did last year. So
not like we did last year. But we're starting to get, there's some changes that we've made, and we're starting to get a lot of activity, which, I mean, you always get, I think, more activity at night. But
I think that breeding season's kind of wrapped up, so it seems like they're almost
getting a little more territorial in a way.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, it's one of those things where it varies for us every year. Okay, that's how we put it.
Yeah. What is last year? Gosh, we hammered night stuff
bad. When we started it quite a bit, we started in I want to say early January.
Right.
And this year we've only killed probably maybe 10 coyotes at night.
Sure. Yeah. And it's just almost year to year, it's different. You never know.
Yep. And that's the beauty of being able to be adaptive. And
I think we worked harder for our day stuff last year than we did this year.
Yeah. We did. It came to us. I mean, a lot of times this year, certain things just fell in our lap.
Yep.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We were totaling it up this year. We'll talk about that. That's a different one. But so we've got the first few phases, and they vary. If things are kind of tough during the day, we do transition to the night work a little bit earlier on in the year. But this year was a little different. So we kept the momentum rolling with day footage, and now a lot of guys we haven't started calving yet, but it's going to be soon. A lot of guys are calving, and that's when, even if we have made the transition tonight before this time, this is when we really kind of start to hit it hard.
It starts turning into fewer later nights, Yeah.
Yep. Just because I'm up already.
Yeah.
10 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
You're checking calvers, twice a night.
And you can close. You can go to town and close, and then if you want to stay awake, turn around, come right back out.
Right.
Or we hit a rancher spot up on the way somewhere.
Right. So we find ourselves working at night a lot more this time of year. Calving season, we got a lot, like you said, a lot of the neighbors, the ranchers call, we need your help. So we do what we can,
Yeah, exactly. And then, we could go into probably some of the equipment, how we use it. I'm trying to make sure that we covered all of our bases on like the transitional phase, the phases, how we do it during the day. I mean, we could break it down a little bit more detailed for you, but each year's different, just like the calling sequences, man. Every single set is not the same. And it maybe would be more beneficial. You guys might say you do the same thing every set and you're going to be better off. I'll guarantee you this year, we've had some crazy stuff happen and nothing has been the same regarding how we've used certain techniques.
And I mean, this year, what's our ratio as far as males to females?
Oh, that's a good one.
It's out of control.
Freaking bad. That's crazy, isn't it?
Just like the triple you were talking about. We called in, 4 and we got 3?
Yep.
Every one of them were 40+ pound males, all running together,
And that was about what, 3 weeks before they started kind of breeding.
Yeah, 2 for sure, 3 probably.
Just that had to just be a bachelor group of big old nasties.
Yep.
And that's a thing too. I mean, the more it's tough because I'm not a biologist. I really enjoy learning about them via hands-on.
Right.
And I would say the first really spike in interest came from hunting at night.
Yeah.
Because that
You
wasn't
learn so much more. They do. I mean, just to sit there and watch them, and we found ourselves not just being murderers,
watching them.
watch them.
You watch those YouTube videos.
And I think a lot of that was having to get them in 50, 75 yards when we first started, so we get to watch them a little longer. We're centerfire now. I mean, 150 yards max shot or 200-yard max shot,
which we still really don't do.
right?
But that's a
I
good
think
point.
the early season or the early years, Thermalin, you would catch yourself watching them a lot more and probably learning a lot more.
Exactly. It's like archery hunting, man. I'd put it,
Yeah.
and I've done some shot an elk, but I don't enjoy archery hunting, but it makes you a better hunter.
Sure.
You have to be a better hunter to get that distance closed,
Right.
to be that stealthy. Not get same thing with what we're sure night, it's a different kind of a blanket. It's a different kind of a scenario, but when you're getting them 20 yards, 30 yards, 40 yards,
Yeah.
man, you're still fooling them.
Yeah.
And you nitpick everything. You review that footage. If you watch that coyote hunting video that Tyler put up, look at what 50% of those comments are. Pull the trigger already.
Yeah.
Pull
You're
the trigger.
camping. You're camping.
Exactly. and that's what we do. It's just the same way I relate it to our previous younger years in sports. The beauty of it is watching footage. You watch game tape. That's how you learn. That's
It's
how
almost
you
like a what if. Well, what if I would have let him come in closer? What if I would have not shot him right away? What would have happened? So a lot of times we catch ourselves trying to do away with that what if and let it happen.
Yep. And most of the time, I would say 90% of the time we're successful.
Oh, yeah.
There's been a couple times this year during the day where I've let them, do stupid things that we'd have an extra 10 coyotes, but we just I'm like, you know what? Let him go.
Well, just like you said, should we mess with him? Should we let him in?
See?
You just want to kill him? I was like, no, let's
Yeah.
see,
Who cares?
see what
If-
he does.
And if he gets away, he gets away.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's a good point. Getting in, it's like game tape. You learn, you study your tape, you study your opponent, and you get better.
It's no different than shooting. I mean,
Exactly.
trigger time, you're going to get better.
Yep. You get better. You study. You set targets out there at 100. You have 100-yard zero. You know what your 200-yard, 300-yard, 400-yard hold is and beyond.
Yeah.
But that's kind of, a rundown on our phases, introducing basically our night hunting concept or our night hunting transition. And then some of the we might get into some of the equipment in a little more detail when we get Tyler and
sure.
Rich on.
Yep.
But I would like to
And then
kind
we got
of,
another spot that we're going to get crazy on as well.
we're leaving it out right now.
It deserves more. Yeah.
Justice. We're going to give it every bit of it.
Yeah.
But and we'll just call that the kill box.
Yep.
I mean, I'm working on a video on it right now, and it's gonna be nasty for you guys that are basically subscribed or you watch some of our videos on YouTube. Be ready for this one. This is gonna be this will be a pretty tough video. It'll be pretty cool. But I'd like to kind of go over how it'll be redundant. We'll be talking about it with Tyler too, but how we kind of got into the thermal game regarding the high end piece of equipment and then the lowest end piece of equipment, and then kind of graduating each year with better and better and better equipment. Okay. And first of all, we don't have anybody regarding thermal and night vision manufacturers that are sponsors. We have had guys ask.
Sure.
And it's one of those things where, a lot of guys would jump at the opportunity. They'd say, yeah, but I've just kind of, we're like, you know what? The company that we work with, that's a big retailer, Ultimate Night Vision, has been very awesome to work with.
Sure.
It's been very beneficial for us because we can get our hands on $20,000 pieces of equipment, and we can get our hands on $2,000 pieces of equipment and everything in between. And what that allows us to do, guys, is get hands-on with it, get real-time field use with it, kills with it, filming with it, and knowledge with it, and then pass it on to you. Okay, most guys go to Cabela's or they'll go to Shields or they'll go to, and nothing against any online, vendors, but you go there and you ask the guy that you're buying it from if he's ever used it.
Well, you ask the guy anything, and he's just going to tell you what you want to hear. If he's trying to sell you something,
He's going to just try and sell it to you.
yeah, I'm going to sell it to you, you know?
And what we like to do is present footage, and guys see us using that stuff. And most of the time they get a hold of us and we're like, yeah, man, you know, and to be brutally honest, what's your budget? What can you spend? And that will give us an idea on what we can get you into for your application.
And it's been that way kind of from the start with anything you've done as far as shot, you know, war, anything.
The suppressors in
Anything.
particular.
Yeah, you're the guy that you have. Excuse me, you have a suppressor manufacturer that you recommend, you know, but that don't stop you from shooting 20 other different cans. That just so you know, thermals same way. You use 20 or 30 different thermals, you know, different manufacturers or anything like that, and then when you do sell all of them through Ultimate Night Vision.
Yep.
And then when that time comes, it's like you said, well, your budget's this. Here's what I would recommend for that budget, or let's hold off a little bit and step up to the next level. And then, you know,
Yeah, you're close, man.
Yeah.
You're real close. If you're going to spend that much money, just wait another year.
Yep.
Wait one more season and you'll be into something that's going to be a lot different.
right.
And you know, it's something that's fun because I honestly really enjoy talking to guys, and it gets it does get tedious after a while, especially when we're trying to get our things going and go hunting and go film. But I think that there needs to be more guys out there kind of like us that help fellow hunters out.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not a real social person by any means. I don't like to go to big groups. I don't like to even be around a lot of people. Cameras, I don't really care. It doesn't bother me, but it's all about helping other hunters out. You know, that's what we're all about. And if we can spread any bit of knowledge that we've accumulated in the field, then so be it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that the podcast is a really good venue for that because
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
in you guys don't have to call and wait for us to talk to you individually. You can grasp what we're throwing out there on a lot wider platform. And I mean, it's anyway, I would say the first setup that we had, let's just start into that. The first setup that we had was from Ultimate Night Vision. I worked with the company, and I'll be transparent, ATN. All right. They used to have a guy there that was an engineer that later moved on to much bigger, better stuff. And when that guy left, fortunately, you know, what I was seeing in the trend, and I don't badmouth companies, but what I was seeing in that trend was they were starting to incorporate a lot of options and make a cheaper product. Okay. You look at what the product, we had that ATN Thor 100, right? That was a $10,000 unit. You go 3 years past that point, and they had a unit that's got a compass in it. It's got ballistics, like a integrated ballistic calculator.
Yeah.
A whole variety of options. And the unit was a third of what that first unit that we ran was. And to me, that's when a white flag goes up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Red flag.
Red flag. There you go. Red flag. Anyway, that's something that I really try to pay attention to. And we've used, I mean, ATN, Armasight, who's now owned by FLIR. We've used IR Defense, who's now owned by Trijicon. We've used L3, Envision Optics, Pulsar, Knights Armament, and I'm missing a few here too. But we've used a lot of different manufacturers. And the first year, Tyler worked with us on a really expensive weapon sight, and we, I think we got within a couple weeks, kind of a learning curve, 15 really good kills. And I think that's got about 20 million views on his YouTube channel right now. And then he sent out a handheld scanner, that Pulsar Quantum
Later
unit.
in the year, though, I think, right?
Yep.
Same year, just later, correct?
A little bit later, a couple months later, something like that. And right then, just from our experience, force multiplier. We're like, you know what? That's a no-brainer to be able to have a scanner like that.
Yep.
So what we were introduced with was a weapon sight, shouldering the rifle, hunting,
Yep.
pulling it out of the pack, scanning,
Even on set, calling.
scanning.
Yep, scanning. 24
And-
the whole time, you know.
And don't get me wrong, we were real successful with it and it worked good.
Yep.
But then you introduced the scanner, which was a force multiplier, and we learned real quick, you know what? This is something that's a
You
necessity.
got to have that.
If you do what we do, drop the money for it
Yeah.
because it's going to benefit you in the amount of coyotes that you kill
Yep.
and what you're capable of. And then the next year, we graduated to a better handheld scanner and another weapon, two weapon sights and a better handheld scanner. Yep. Which was another force multiplier.
Right. And don't forget, everything is being recorded, and these recordings are on little DVRs
In the beginning.
to start out with.
Yeah.
And just, God, they were a pain in the ass.
And the footage was compressed in junk.
Right.
I mean, it just
Yeah.
wasn't what you
Yeah.
were seeing.
Yep.
And then after that, we graduated to our helmet mounted setups. Okay, where we're going to be doing breakdowns. I'm going to be doing some reviews on those, where you'd have a thermal monocular on your left eye, a night vision monocular on your right eye. Or you know, you'd start like the first helmet mounted setup. I had a M300 Patrol on my left eye and a Viper 14 on my right eye. This year I've got the Skeeter on my left and a Viper 14 on my right.
And I just run the night vision as far as, because I got a big handheld scanner that I like to run. So I haven't even ran any night vision this year, just for the fact that this one right here.
Hold Wesley up. We call that one Wesley Snipes.
That's our big handheld scanner that we'll see as far as you can see, plus a couple miles.
And that's how you pick the coyotes out and decide, all right, let's.
It's stupid is what it is, you know.
It's a pain to carry it around real efficiently.
But the thing about it is that pain part doesn't matter because nothing gets away from that thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's worth it. And I mean, I put a little lanyard on it, so I put it around my neck, or, you know.
Make it carry so your fingers don't freeze to it.
Yeah, because it's metal.
But then, so, you know, there's little things that you go from a handheld scanner to a helmet mounted scanner in my case. And to me, it's even that is such a huge force multiplier, because the wheeziest weight guys are like, dude, all right, I can get myself into a really good handheld scanner for about $4,000. Why in the hell do I want to go up to $8,000 for a helmet mounted nasty rig? You might not want to, you might not even need to, but the way I explain it is, especially to a lot of guys in North Dakota that are killing $100+ coyotes almost every set.
Yep.
Because of quality of fur, and even down here, is the whole concept is, you know, during the day where you've done it, we do it a lot. You call in a double, you call in a triple, you shoot one, the first one takes off running, and he'll give you you can stop him. Maybe you don't stop him, but he stops for a split second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and then he's gone. Well, at night, imagine that times 10, because you're looking at a screen, you don't have the visual. Well, with a small little 1x magnification, you've got about a 22-degree field of view, which is about 20 degrees more than a weapon sight that I'm currently running. And you can locate the coyote and follow him after your initial kill shot. Locate the coyote, the follow-up shot that needs to be taken, follow him, and you're on him when he makes that stop. You transition to the rifle and you kill him right away.
Here's what I see as far as, you have the helmet mounted system, the thermal on your left eye. We have a recording device on the front of our
Ocular
on the ocular of the guns of the
weapon sights.
And James won't even take the thermal down off of his left eye. He'll Google eye on the target with the rifle. So it's like you're never losing sight of the target. You can watch with your left eye. I mean, it takes a lot to get used to, obviously. You know, I've tried it or what have you, but it's almost you can train your eyes to which one to go dominant, which one, you know.
Yep.
So what we're doing is James is never coming off a target as far as the coyote itself, whether it's a follow-up or not, when we're both being able to shoot two rifles, you know, all the time. But with that helmet mounted system, it's like instantly you got the second, the follow-up or what have you, ready to go. And you're like, right.
Yep.
Or you're just shooting the follow-up.
Exactly. You know? I'm either guiding you guys or I'm doing it. And a lot of times we've got 4 coyotes coming in.
I bet you we have doubled our numbers as far as the helmet system to the scanner, you know,
exactly.
just because of that.
And that's what I explained to guys. You get, it's so easy to explain it that way. And guys would never imagine it. Well, you know, it's going to cost me $7,000. Well, dude, guess what? That's only another X amount of coyotes.
Yeah.
And you're going to make that back.
Yes. Yeah, it'll pay for itself. within the first 2 years. I mean, depending on how much you go, but it's going to pay for itself.
And you got to look at it like a tool. You can't look at it like a Call of Duty freaking gameplay type of thing. And that's what a lot of people see. Oh, you guys are just trying to be somebody, blah, blah. Well, no, we're not. You know, we're explaining it to
There's
you.
a reason it's getting ran by us. I mean, it's like you said, it's not to look cool. It's not to be the baddest dude on the, you know.
Exactly.
It's a tool. There's a reason for it.
Yep. There's a tool. It is a tool, and it's effective for our
Trust
use.
me, if it didn't work for us, if it didn't help us, we wouldn't be using it.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I mean, my helmet's got a lot of weight on it, man. You got a counterweight. You got I'm running a G24 breakaway with the RQE. Now it's a a night vision dual bridge. It's articulating a Viper 14, a Skeet. I've got 2 lights and then a battery pack on it, and it's heavier than our old college football helmets, dude. I mean, we're lifting weights. I do neck extensions, and it pays off because
that's what you said. It feels like I got a football helmet on again.
And it's something that you want to. I mean, it's something that you want to pay attention to, because if you're not physically in shape for that, it'll hurt you, dude. I'm not kidding. It will. It's just like our packs. I mean, shit, I've got probably, I bet on a regular day with that camera and my call and everything else that's in there, it's got to be damn close to 50 pounds.
Oh, I bet.
40 pounds.
I pick it up and it's like, why you got all this stuff in here? But
you need it.
You use it. It's like,
yeah. And every single day, every day, and it's every day, out of the pickup, on our back, gone for a mile. That's wear and tear on your body, man. And we've got to the way I look at it is there's only so long that we're going to be able to handle that my body is going to, you know, it's breaking knees down. It's breaking your back down. It's breaking your neck down. And on top of old injuries from college, you know, make do with it while you can.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to
Take
be doing
advantage.
this. I'd love to be hammering this out like I am when I'm 50 and 60, but dude, it's hardcore high speed right now. That's strenuous work.
Yeah.
And then you couple on our lifting, and it's probably not real smart how we do it. You know, we're lifting more than 20-year-old. I mean, it's a hobby too.
It's why the hell am I doing this, man? This hurts. I hurt. You know, but it's a mental thing too.
It is. It is.
But if you didn't do it, how would you feel at the end of the coyote hunt?
It'd be too easy. It'd be too easy, dude. Well, I don't mean it like that. I mean,
Right.
But yeah, you get used to lifting and you're dragging coyotes a mile or 2 or 400 yards, and then you're in shape, and you throw all the stuff on, you do it all over the next day. And at night too, you know, you make that transition to night and you don't stop. You're going from the daytime all the way through night.
We make our last set and it's dark when we get back. And what do? We take our day guns out, we take our day cameras out, and we regroup and go again.
Exactly.
It's like,
and you get used to it. You fall in that rhythm. It becomes a habit.
I'd rather be doing that than, you know,
Nothing.
a 9 to 5 somewhere that
You
aren't allowed to do that, you know.
And a lot of guys would rather be doing a 9 to 5 than doing. A lot of guys would come in and go, dude, I love what you're doing. It'd be
I just
so
can't
awesome.
do it though. I can't do it.
Hey, come do it for 2 weeks, and then guess what? You probably won't ever want to do it again. Probably not. But that's, I mean, that's really a lot of the night hunting game that we do. I mean, there's certain tools, tactics, techniques, training that we use for hunting at night. I mean, it's something that we're real getting a lot more experience with, and the way that we break it down, how I said, into phases. A lot of guys don't look at it like that. And if you break it down like we do, you can really capitalize on specific situations, you know?
Yeah.
But that's,
Yeah. I don't even know.
he's barking at something. Coyotes. But I mean, I'm trying to think if there's anything else for night hunting. I mean, it's just kind of how we do the transitional phase and get into night hunting. Some of the equipment that we use, you know, my go-to weapon sight's a Mark 360 millimeter. We're filming behind the ocular. A lot of guys want to know how we're getting that kind of footage. It's a learning curve in itself.
Yep.
I mean, we're mounting the optic as far ahead on the pick rail as we can, so that when we shoulder the rifle, you have a proper eye relief, if you will,
Sure.
while you're looking at a screen.
Well, some people say, well, how's that to shoot through? What's that like? And I know early you've had people say, well, I can't get it far enough back to my eye. And they say, how do you shoot? I've never shot through a thermal.
Looking through the ocular.
I've never done it.
Other than that
pulsar,
just a couple times.
Right. But I don't know, how do you do that? Well,
You get used to it.
yeah.
There's been times where I was explaining to guys, I've had a coyote in front of me and he pegged me out, pulling my rifle out of my pack. And I set that gun down and shot him while I was squatting down in the catcher's position.
Yep.
Because I was looking at the screen and he was in front of me looking at me. I mean,
Couldn't get down on your rifle.
exactly. The snow was too crunchy. He would have been gone. And I mean, there's pros and cons to it.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are like, well, it's backlit. Do you get caught up with that backlighting? Does that screen? Do you ever get scared? Or get coyotes scared of you because I haven't had that happen.
And you turn it, like when it's completely pitch black, you turn your phone all the way down.
Yep, and dim it up quite a bit, so you don't really have to worry about it. There's always that in the back of your mind, but
Right.
most of the time, I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It works with us pretty good. But what else is there? Your go-to? Tell a lot of your
I like the Reap.
the Reap.
The Reap is it's just a wide field of view. It's good and clear. I mean, a lot of our stuff, you like day stuff, we're close as possible. So I'm a Reap fan.
And there's a lot of benefits to that. You got a little bit wider field of view, and we can go into details on that with Tyler. But for us, killing doubles or multiples on the same screen, the Mark III just doesn't have that field of view. I think the Mark III is
more mag.
Yep, it's got more magnification, but then the field of view is where you can capture 2-3 kill shots. And another thing too, we do get guys, and we'll go into a different podcast on ARs versus bolt guns. We don't really need to have ARs when we have 2 or 3 shooters. Where we can count down and kill 2 to 3 coyotes within a matter of a second or two.
It's all about precision as far as
And
the countdown. Let's do a double. Shoot them both. They die at the same time. It's like, how are they doing that? Well,
ricochets.
yeah.
But that's right. I mean, it's either, and we will break it down, we'll go into detail on stuff like that where we tell guys, why we prefer ARs over bolt guns.
Yeah.
But that's one of the main reasons, for us being able to have 2-3 guys. And
not to say that the AR don't have its place,
Yeah, it definitely does. 100% it does. And nothing against you. I used to be an AR guy.
Yeah, we used to shoot a lot of them.
And we still do a little bit, just more on target than on messing around doing any kind of precision work. Just some training, carbine training, stuff like that. Nothing crazy. But that's about it, man. I mean, if you guys are interested in more details of our work, if there's more detail, like I said, hit us up with it. Send us a message on Instagram or Facebook, and leave us a comment, because we're going to be going into detail with Tyler on certain things regarding night hunting. And there's so many bases we could touch on regarding how we do it at night. I mean, we could break, and you'll be seeing that with the kill box.
Break it down and just strictly kill box. Yeah.
And we'll do a whole, you won't want to miss that, guys. You will not want to miss the kill box.
Put a lot of work into that one. I mean,
it's just something it's a place, and we'll explain it. It's a place where the numbers that we get
year after year, every
year, compared to what most guys get throughout their whole life, it's just a completely different ball game.
Yeah.
And that's what you guys are going to be in for. So
let us know what you want to hear.
Yeah, exactly.
What we missed or questions, anything.
Exactly. And like I said, guys, we appreciate it. We appreciate what you guys, the feedback that we get from you guys, the viewership that we receive from you guys, the subscribers. That's our goal has been 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's slowly climbing. We want to get more content out there. Podcasts are easy for us, man. I mean, there's so many different things, so many topics that we can talk about. I mean, I'd like to do an elk hunting one. And the last thing I like to see is guys that are predator hunters that have a predator hunting show, start doing whitetail hunts or travel to Africa, or, I mean, I want to see guys hunt coyotes. That's what I want to see. And it's not meant
predators. I mean, not just coyotes, but predators.
If a mountain lion or a bobcat, but I don't want to deter you guys, but there's a lot of guys out there, and the amount of elk that we take, and the state that the game fishing parks, we work with them, the sportsmen that we work with, it's a unique situation and it's pretty cool. It's really, really fun, the stuff that we get to do and the guys that we get to meet in the real unique situation that we're in here. It's really unique and really cool.
And that has a lot to do with when we start coyote hunting, per se.
Exactly. We were talking about that earlier too. That's a big impact on one of the reasons why we don't start coyote hunting until December.
Yeah. As much as we'd like to, just the opportunities elsewhere.
We're helping guys. You know, we helped a guy that was this year. It was going to be his last hunt. He was terminal, and the state got a hold of us, and I'm like, absolutely. You know, he never got an elk. Came back a couple times and ended up getting him one pretty late in the year, and that's a sacrifice that we're willing to make over, you know, catering to ourselves hunting coyotes.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's something that guy will be able to remember.
Coyotes will be there when we get ready.
Yeah, they will. Yeah. But that's it, guys. That's something that's a transitional phase. That's the night ops. That, you know, we're going to be going. Stay tuned. I'm going to have some pretty cool reviews out on our night rigs, on the new Murad IR weapon system that we designed with Gunworks, on the helmet mounted system that we use to hunt at night, possibly even some long range scanners that we do. Be sure to check us out, O'Neill Ops on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the bell.
Ding it.
It'll notify you guys. Let me know if that's working too, guys. Send me messages on Instagram. So I had a couple guys send me a message that said that bell wouldn't work. They wanted to click that bell so that they'd be notified anytime I put up a new video, and they were saying it wasn't working. So your Instagram is
ops_pro staff.
That's Keith's ops_pro staff. Be sure to give him a like. He's got some cool content on there. Always with us, filming some stuff, taking videos on Instagram, doing a lot of shooting in the off season, and got YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and a lot of reviews. That should be good.
My bang is gone.
And another thing I should probably mention real quick. We're at 50 minutes. We're working with a new company. It's been a little bit different for us this year. It's made our work. We're all about more effectiveness, or more, I should say, more effectiveness, but more efficiency. Where, you know, how we kind of explained it on strictly the weapon sight, then we moved to the handheld scanner, then we moved to the helmet mounted setup, etc. Now we've got setups over bait piles where we've got cellular cameras. It notifies us when there's animals there. So we're not sitting up all night long, you know, waiting for something to come in. And that's barn owl cameras. And last night, what'd you say? Killbox had
4 coyotes on the kill box, 2 coyotes on Recon 3, then 2 other bait piles that were
one coming in here.
Yeah, 1 at the house here, and then 2 other ones that were hot. So night.
That's what we're gearing up for tonight.
Night hunting should get crazy.
We got the batteries charging right now, so we're going to be hammering. A lot of this content's going to be going in towards the kill box. So you guys get ready for it. Once again, if be sure to let us know what you guys want to hear, more podcasts, anything that we can go over that you guys are interested in. We'll nail it. We'll try to as much as we can. We appreciate it. Once again, guys, I'm James O'Neill. This has been an O'Neill Ops podcast, and we are out.